Welcome back, everybody. We've got another TVP. It's funny, we had an ASL where we got to do a deep dive into TVP. We could have the same thing here. We could just have nothing but TVPs, depending on how this first match goes here. I don't mind doing that either, by the way. I think some people, they feel like it's a little bit redundant to have the same matchup. Honestly, sometimes it's really fun to really explore what people are doing in one matchup. How different are the games or how the same are the games. But with these two players, I think we should have a very, very different looking TVP just because it's ByuN and herO. They're extremely different from Maru Classic.
Yeah, Classic and Maru, two players that like to macro up a lot in pretty much every single matchup they play. ByuN and herO, kind of the opposite. herO is one of those guys that just wants to go take 3 bases, build an army, and then try to kill you. And ByuN's the same way. Every single matchup he plays, it feels like he is ready to explode with aggression. And I'm pretty excited for this matchup, man. I think it's going to be very different from the first series that we saw between Maru and Classic. And just as you were saying, I mean, a TVP deep dive, I'm completely game for it, especially after a patch with some new maps here in the pool. I want to see some, but PvP, TVT, I wouldn't mind that as well. I want to see some sentries just with little lasers, blasting Archons, exploding Immortals.
Yeah,
Could be fun.
I would welcome it. Yeah, herO coming into this today. I want to see if herO can really bring back the herO from the past. There was a period where it seemed like not only was he the best Protoss in the world, but he was approaching the entire race very differently. He never looks like any of the other players. And sometimes that can be a criticism. In this case, it's a compliment. I mean, he's so, I don't know, he just sees the game very differently. And we get a lot of different strategies because of that.
I mean, this is something that you see for certain players that are just very aggressive and very good at being aggressive because it's a hard style to emulate unless you have the same kind of micro, unless you have the same kind of insight into the game, whereas, no, I have this window where I can go for a killing blow. I mean, if you don't see that window a minute in advance, you can't play the same way that herO does. You simply can't execute it. So he's kind of in a class of his own in that way, and we'll see if he's able to bring that edge here against ByuN. By the way, heading into this one, herO and Classic were chatting a little bit after their match, giving each other some pointers, so we'll see how this matchup is going to shake up. ByuN versus herO, match 2 here in the round of 8 Group A. Winner is going to go on to face Maru in the winner's match. Let's get started here on map 1, Alcyone.
Okay, ByuN in the top right, herO in the bottom left. Wait. Oh, there's a probe coming across the map. I thought the watchtower just lit up for some reason. I'm like,
and the third player is in the game.
I'm like, can it just get vision for nobody? But it's really weird. I didn't see the probe on the map.
All right, we didn't get to see this in the first series. What can this probe do? It's got double the range.
So, you guys have probably heard Artosis joke about the StarCraft 1 probe being the best unit in all of StarCraft. It's because you can do so much damage with it and harass Terran buildings. With the range upgrade, the probe should be a pretty big threat. The only thing that you can't do from StarCraft 1 and StarCraft 2 is make a gas steal make sense. In StarCraft 1, you've got 1 gas, so you can run in there, steal their gas, and then start to attack all other SCVs making stuff.
I feel like there was a period in StarCraft 2 very early on, maybe Wings of Liberty, where it did make sense to go for a gas steal, but that has been, it has not carried through. It has not aged well as the game has evolved over the years.
Well, I think in theory, you could run in there and take 2 gases, but it's like, well, that's almost half the price of a Nexus. Like, how much are you slowing them down versus slowing yourself down?
I'm also pretty sure that way back in the day, simulators used to have more HP. I might be mistaken about this, but it felt like they were tankier. Maybe we've had so many patches in this game. It's been out for, 14 years? It's hard that... Sometimes I think that the game used to exist in some kind of way, and it just, never did.
Well, we've mostly been in the Legacy of the Void era, but... I mean, if you go back and watch Wings of Liberty, it's so weird because, the unit stats are different and, the way people approached was people weren't as good as well. Everybody's kind of learning this game and growing together, but I lost my train of thought. You talk. I don't know what I'm talking about.
Well, herO Probe Scout did get denied there in the main base. Maru was able to clean that one up. I don't think he saw the command center or factory timing, but he should have a pretty good idea based on the scouting information that he gathered with the early barracks, with the Marine, with the reactor, or not the reactor, but the one gas in the main base as opposed to 2 gas of what ByuN is going for, and he's just be chrono boosting out a ton of adepts. I think that might be the second or the third chrono boost he's thrown down on that gateway with a Stargate follow-up. So look to see some aggression here from herO early on as he starts a 3rd adept and ByuN starts a 3rd command center. And this is going to be Hellions from ByuN, not Cyclones.
Can these Shades see that? No. I guess his vision would be too low. But double command center, I didn't really expect to see this from ByuN in game 1. You know, he's kind of known for being pretty aggressive and active, but kind of a cool way to start this out.
And if the adept is able to pair up with its buddy in the middle of the map, then it should be able to deal with the Hellions quite well, honestly. And there is some potential, unless ByuN throws down a bunker here in the natural expansion, for herO just to move cross map with 3 adepts and an Oracle and get a fair bit of damage done. And he's not going to make any Cyclones either. It's just these 2 Hellions, 1 Marine, and then a Reactor Barracks. I'm liking this opening so far for herO. Unfortunately, he doesn't have the same full picture of the game that we do right now.
Right.
But there is certainly an opportunity for him to get some damage done here, I think.
Yeah,
At least until that siege tank is done.
Yeah. I mean, you're really vulnerable in a moment like this.
Oh.
Does see the 2 Hellions from across the map. The 2 Hellions don't really tell you much about what ByuN's really up to here.
No, and actually those adepts went all the way back home, so herO's playing it quite safe here with those 3 adepts. Yeah. A little bit sad that he didn't move into the natural expansion with the Shades to potentially pick off some Hellions or some Marines, but you can't know that your opponent is playing a little bit.
Well, he'll know now. He went by that command center. You can try to get a couple more kills on these SCVs. And, you know, this amount of damage you can certainly be happy with. No hull damage onto the Oracle. You know, he might just be going into Stalker Blink. This could be like the perfect build to punish what ByuN does. I'm a little bit surprised ByuN opened like this versus herO. Because herO, this is definitely what herO likes to do.
And it's going to be charge, actually, with double gas from herO. This is not what I was expecting. So are we going to see fast Psystorm with charge from herO? Because I can't think of anything else you're going to use those 4 assimilators for if your army composition is mostly going to be charge zealots, right? I feel like it almost has to be a Templar Archives, but we'll see exactly what herO is going to do with it. He's already up to 300 gas.
When I saw the Twilight Council, I thought it was going to be Blink.
Yeah,
actually.
me too, for
yeah,
sure.
I was basically getting ready to talk about how herO is the best at this, herO and probably parting. But yeah, this is not at all what I thought. So I guess the question is also, would ByuN be expecting this?
Well, at this point, herO still hasn't committed to a specific tech path with all of this gas, but he's up to 500. He's throwing down additional gateways. It's got to be a Templar Archives for Archons,
This
right?
must
and
be
then
like
go for a bust?
Yeah, maybe a timing attack to blow up the 3rd base.
I think that's got to be it. He's going for +1 armor, too, so this is going to be an old-school PBT opening. Cool to see all these different styles here. We're only in the 2nd series of the day, right? From Classic and herO. 5 more gateways in production. Oh! Cyclone almost able to get that Oracle. Very low on HP. It's even more gateways coming down here. Oh man, even more gateways. What is this, like 8 gate?
Yeah, I think he's going to be dropping or cutting probes at his 2nd here, and it's going to be all about the gateway production. He didn't really have to make that much at all. I mean, you know, in a perfect world, you would not be making attacking units the whole time. You just make all your buildings, all your probes. And then when you're ready to go, you're like, all right, here's 4 rounds of gateway units, and I'm going to go kill you. And that's not too far from what herO's doing this time here. The 3rd base is going to just now be started.
Ooh, and Psystorm.
Yeah.
Interesting opening. Those come in. Unfortunately, the Oracle doesn't have that much energy, so we'll take one of them down and an SCV, but still good value here for herO.
So the question is, when is this attack going to come in? We see the Warp Prism being made here. I mean, I assume when Psystorm is done and the Warp Prism's ready to be just outside the base, we're going to see a pretty big hit in.
Yeah, I think that's also the window that herO would go for if this is going to be a push. what a crazy force in the middle, by the way.
Yeah, I guess it's to try to just catch Medivacs.
Yeah, Psystorm is not done yet.
Yeah, he needs to be careful, man. He should not be out here.
I think he's bluffing a little bit that he has Psystorm with this. Steps now coming into the 3rd base. Not getting very much done.
They'll make sure to damage everything and kill nothing.
Oh, and a double medevac drop here, gunning for the main of herO.
Are there Templars in the main for feedback?
I don't think so. I only see 5 on the units tab, and pretty much all of them were here in the front, right? So that's a big warp-in as well. herO might need to recall a small number of units to deal with that double medevac drop in the main base, but here we go. Storm is ready. Warp Prism. Templar gunning down. Really good storms right here on all of the bio. Just gets evaporated. The depot's even going to be down, so the Zealots are getting here into the natural expansion.
The SCVs are pulled. The Zealots just stream right up the ramp. He tries to block it with some more of these SCVs. A lot more damage still coming through here. But a lot of workers are being killed back at ByuN's base.
Yeah, but herO's warping in right here in the front, so he's absolutely committing to the tech. Another storm gets a lot more damage done, but all the production is getting offline here in the main base of herO.
The thing is, if he could just kill everything at the barracks, you're going to kill everything that comes out of the barracks. So
maybe, but I feel like, herO doesn't have any production back at home either, and also this SimCity for ByuN is so good against Charge Zealots. It's like a little tiny maze.
Man.
It's difficult to really get anything done.
It's a good point. I feel like neither of them could quite kill the army that they're fighting. And maybe ByuN has enough. If ByuN holds this here, he wins the game.
Yeah, I mean, there's just no more reinforcements coming in here for herO. He maybe has like 1 or 2 gateways that are still online.
Yeah,
I feel like if
ByuN takes this, man.
Yeah. I mean, maybe if herO did that warp in the main base instead of right there in the front, he could have had a chance. And I mean, ByuN even dropping a scan to make sure there were no stray probes to reinforce and warp in more pylons in the main. And
remember, he can't make anything right now.
Yeah.
herO can't because his pylons are unpowered.
He's going to try and drop Archons on this with his shield battery. But the Warp Prism goes down, and
GG.
That's it. Those double medevacs, man. They're dangerous.
Yeah. That was something else. That was wild.
A little bit unfortunate there for herO that he committed to the Warp Prism warp in right in the main base, because if he has those units back at home instead, maybe he can stabilize, maybe he doesn't lose all his production, but instead it forces him into this position where he basically has to go all in. And fighting up a ramp, especially against that SimCity from ByuN, it's not going to work.
He did a good job with the SCVs, making it harder for the Zealots to get in there and do the damage they want to do. Not a bad idea from herO. Again, I'm a little bit surprised we didn't see the Blink Stalker stuff. I thought that was coming.
Yeah, me too.
I was like when I saw Charge make it, I'm like, wait, is that okay? And it's not that we don't see Pro players do that, but I'm just, herO is kind of known for having that incredible Warp Prism Blink Stalker play, and it makes sense versus 3 Command Center.
Yeah,
early
absolutely.
On. Like, I feel like it almost counters it. We're gonna go to Ghost River. A little spooky.
You're afraid of ghost chasing
Don't
this?
walk around Ghost River at night.
All right, game 2, ByuN versus herO.
Go surreal. Let's go. Get the Ouija board out. Got the Ouija board ready. All right, I know. Was that you moving it? I didn't move it. What's going on here?
Let's try and figure out what build they're going to go for in this game.
So we've got herO at the top right. Oh my God, the probe's already here. ByuN in the top left.
What was that, like 34 seconds, 35 seconds cross map? That is insane.
That's actually so fast.
I feel like the rush distance on this one is interesting. Ooh, look at that art. I like that.
Look at how straight ByuN's back is too. Oh, look at this. That is cool.
We got an artsy crowd out here, man.
Yeah.
Graphic designer.
Yeah, these are good drawings here. We don't always have good drawings either. Okay, I don't say that.
They're all
Today's
beautiful.
drawings are good.
They're all beautiful in my eyes, tasteless.
Yeah,
I'm like the
not in mine.
like the mother of the toddler like brings like the pasta noodle picture of the portrait of the family.
I've definitely had GSLs where I've seen some pretty Napoleon Dynamite drawings before. So obviously the probe is a bit of a menace here in the early game. What will herO do this time around? I do feel like there's got to be a lot of really powerful rushes on this map.
I think on this map, I would be surprised if herO didn't go for Blink on this one of all the maps, because I think this one has maybe the most surface area in the main base
and the shortest travel distance by foot.
Yeah, that can be kind of a double-edged sword though too, because the scary thing when you're going for Blink Stalker play like that is eventually the Terran army is good enough to fight your pure Blink Stalker army, and then they move across the map and it's really hard to hold.
Yeah.
And in this case, when they do move across the map, it's not very far for them to get into your natural or your third base, but we will see. A lot of the maps in this pool I think aren't the best for Blink, but Ghost River, I mean, again, this is still really early. It could be that this map doesn't actually play out that way and Blink Stalkers aren't a good choice for a variety of different reasons, but My inkling just from playing around with this one in a versus AI game earlier on, just moving around the map, getting a feel for it was...
Yeah. That's good you do that. That's one of the best ways to learn.
Yeah.
Is to like not just go in there and grind it out against people. Just like put a computer on easy, look through the map, see how all the buildings fit everywhere.
You got to do it with Terran too to see where the Reapers can go.
That's
Never
right.
do it with Protoss.
Yeah, to just get a feel for, you know, what can and cannot be done on the map.
Some of the maps that are in the pool right now actually have like 3 different spots in the main base that Reapers can jump up. It's kind of insane.
Yeah.
I think Crimson Court, Crimson River, something like that is one of the maps with a bunch of different spots for Reapers in the main base. It is a little bit off the walls. I've gotten very used to the formulaic one Reaper spot that is wallable from the Protoss player on every single map, you know? A little bit different here is ByuN going for 2 barracks with double Cyclone production. It will be Blink coming out from herO. Keep in mind these are the post-patch Cyclones, although they will still be able to get a lot of damage done this adept, maybe even kill it. Just 24 HP. We'll see how many more gateways herO throws down. I would expect, I mean, of course, there's going to be at least one more, but we'll see if he opts to go for 4.
I've seen third base on 2, which I feel like is a little risky. 3 is like, you know, very middle of the road, and then 4 means you're going to be aggressive. It seems like Koreans have backed off a little bit from the 4-gate stuff. I've talked about this before, but
yeah, they've never really been into it.
When you talk to Europeans and other foreigners, they all say like, no, it's still pretty good. You know?
I mean, MaxPax does it like
yeah.
It's like almost every
Europeans
single
love
PvT.
that.
It's a really fun style too. It reminds me of, I mean, this is a really old name, but Adele Scott back on like Xel'Naga Caverns would play this Gateway Man style of Protoss with just Stalkers and Zealots, and it was so cool. Back then, I was a wee little nerd. I would love to model my PvT off of Adele Scott, even though back then it was garbage because Colossus did like double the damage they do now. But it's a really fun style. Unfortunately, herO here just be going for the 2-gate Blink, and we'll see what damage he's able to get done. There should be a pretty fast third base behind this, and double gas as well, so he will be teching behind it
He didn't get a Robo or anything either, so it's not. Oh no, he did. I'm sorry, he just didn't get. Sorry, I meant to Warp Prism.
Right.
So you know, this is not any kind of commitment.
And maybe this is because the map is so scary in terms of Terran pushing cross map after the Blink Stalker phase is over. Maybe herO has looked at it and is like, I actually need my Colossus a little bit faster if I want to defend the counter push after my Blink. We'll be able to get 1 Cyclone here. That Observer doing a ton of work on the high ground, granting vision. Oh, Stim's done though. A lot of these Stalkers, Blink is still on cooldown. Ton of damage, and ByuN's already here at the third base. This is crazy.
Okay, this is coming in pretty hard, man. These are some pretty damaged Stalkers.
Oh, does he not have energy?
Does not have enough to like, dude, is this game just gonna end? Hold on.
I was
gonna
say,
kill a lot of workers.
For a moment there, I was really afraid he didn't have energy for an overcharge. He's actually pulling all of these probes too.
I mean, that's a lot of workers to lose early on. You know, one of the reasons why timings like this can be effective is because they almost don't make sense because there's no medevacs out yet. So the Protoss can kind of, you know, assume that they're safer when they're not. Now, if you don't control it that well, it does backfire. Obviously, you can't retreat or heal. And by retreat, I mean like pick them up and boost out. You know, and so when you do those attacks, you are, unless you win the game, likely to lose everything over time. But I got to say, a lot of worker kills, which means the hero's going to be doing a little bit of catching up. He's got the Observer here, so he can blink in the main. I don't know how much he's going to find, though.
Should be able to get a couple of kills, but I mean, that Blink cooldown right there. This is a Stalker. Always painful. Colossus production is underway, though. Keep in mind that herO still hasn't taken third base. Only just now is it going down, so he's leaning really heavily into the tech here. But that also means that the 10 workers he lost earlier in the game hurt him a lot more because at this stage, generally as Protoss, you want to be a little bit faster with the expansions in the Terran. You want to be ahead of them economically. And you want to try and pull them apart a little bit with Blink Stalkers and Charge Zealots if you can. If you want to play this more ground-based style as opposed to the Stargate style that we saw from Classic. But herO's lost quite a bit of tempo from that early attack that ByuN was able to execute.
Okay. Sorry, what happened? He just canceled the add-on?
He canceled the reactor.
It's kind of weird. Is he going to mix the new there, or was that a mistake?
I think he just started it again.
Yeah,
Look at the production tab.
I don't know what would prompt you to suddenly cancel that.
It's the ghosts, man. It was
I
haunted.
know, man. No, I'm telling you, man. The room listen, the room got really cold, and then the reactor got canceled.
Korea, by the way, one of those cultures that really does believe in ghosts. A lot of my Korean friends believe in ghosts.
Yeah, man. We got to become ghost hunters out here. Oh, he's going to try to hit this. Doesn't quite get up there.
Yeah, that is a tough angle to come in and attack too because of the rocks at that junction between the natural and the third base. Just one force field can siphon off a lot of units. But this is scary here for herO because while ByuN's army doesn't have a lot of nuance to it, it is very large. And the amount of splash damage or just general damage on the field here for herO is very insignificant compared to the size of ByuN's army. I mean, if these two armies were to clash in the middle, I feel like ByuN's army could defeat herO's army and then could defeat an exact copy of herO's army right after that, you know?
Yeah.
Like on an open field. I mean, this army is potent. He's even mixing in ghosts now, 3 at a time. Double Viking production also underway. And herO, his worker count, it's still just now surpassing ByuN. He's adding in a Dark Shrine. He's getting in some disruptors, but I feel like he never really has been able to recover from the tempo that he lost from that opening push with a bunch of bio units, no medevacs and cyclones. I mean, those 10 worker kills when he was on 2 bases, that hurt so much here for herO, and the counter damage really didn't get much done. So now ByuN moving across the map with a very formidable army. We're going to need to see some nice control out of herO if he wants to hold this one.
Okay, he's going to stim and move in. This is a really good angle for the Protoss.
Oh, gets a ghost.
Nice EMP.
Every single sentry.
The sentry's basically just paperweights right now. He does back up. I think tearing down the rocks is a must here. You need to get a wider berth to get in.
Battery overcharge expiring, so that's going to be ByuN's key to go in right now. Zealots coming on the right side. There is one more Disruptor reinforcing from the top. ByuN maybe overextending just a little bit. Disruptor is going to be able to connect on a ton of the bio. Only one Colossus has gone down so far, but there are enough Vikings to take the second one down. Reinforcing Zealots are coming in, but the probes had to get pulled to even hold on.
Yeah, now all he has to do is regroup, and he could probably attack back in. The Stalkers are going to pursue.
Yeah, herO needs to get more damage on this retreating army before ByuN is able to reinforce because he lost all of the nuance to his army, all the high-tech units, the Colossi, the Disruptor count has been completely reset. And herO has to get the same thing done. He has to kill Vikings, he has to kill medevacs, and he was able to pick off a good chunk of them. But this is a scary position because on paper right now, the Terran economy, it is frankly better than the Protoss. He has these mules dropping in. The worker counts are basically even. Yes, herO does have a 4th base, but he doesn't have the workers to saturate it and really make much of a difference. So in terms of scaling economically, herO isn't going to be able to do those big warp-ins of Zealots or of Stalkers to have enough force on the ground to really contest Terran and buy himself time to replenish these high-tech units. And that is a scary position to be in as the Protoss player. I think ByuN can feel that he is getting closer and closer to a victory here, and herO needs to buy time. So I love this play with DTs coming in right now.
Now, he might not notice right away. He does notice. He gets the kill.
Has a scan available, too.
So 4 SCVs is not bad. I don't know if it's going to be enough to recover. The biggest event that happened back here was the elimination of all the Colossi. You're trying to accumulate those over time, and eventually you just have this ground obliterating force. But the fact that ByuN got in there and killed it is really bad news.
And it's only one robo, too. So herO has to basically choose, am I building Colossi or am I building Disruptors right now? Because he needs both of them, honestly, against the ball of bio that Terran is making. ByuN is just in such a great position in terms of pure army size that herO has to keep making plays for time. Similar to the way that Classic had to try and make plays for time against Maru there in Game 3. That didn't work out for Classic. We'll see if herO's going to be able to pull the rabbit out of his hat in this one. But this army for ByuN here in the center, 97 supply in total.
Ooh, nice mine.
It's a big hit.
Yeah. Whoa, that was... that looked kind of funny.
Command center instantly finishes and then pops up. Oh, ByuN has just been on 1-1 this entire time. I didn't even realize he didn't have an armory in his second engineering bay. He's been playing very low upgrades.
That's actually a really good point. That actually is huge.
I mean, usually Terran will be a little bit ahead of upgrades on a Protoss player like herO in this position, but +2 to 1-1 is very playable here for the Protoss. Shot coming in. Actually, doesn't even find a single Marauder. with concussive. It's probably going to go down here. An engagement coming in. That is so much bio. Disruptor shot. Oh,
Damn.
what a money shot right there. So much bio getting taken down. Retreating back to the shield battery is herO. Nice play by him, shaving off a good chunk of bio right there in the middle of the map. I mean, these are the plays that herO needs to make to equalize well here. If he's able to get up to +3 ground weapons, by the way, before 2-2 is done there for ByuN, there will be a window where, at least on paper, he should be able to trade cost efficiently with the Terran.
Yeah, he's not able to quite get in there and do any damage. We've got tanks being incorporated over here, but it seems like ByuN is just a little bit out of range. Hold on a second. Kind of a bad overextension there from herO. Keep in mind he's not maxed out. It wasn't like he could trade those Zealots out for something else. Perfect dodge. And now we're going to see him attacking again. The Vikings, they get such a good position in between these two staircases to kind of pelt the Colossi with damage over and over. Now, ByuN's army's looking pretty scary, but herO actually has more bases and is growing more quickly. I'm kind of stunned that he actually took that base that's further towards the middle than instead of the one at the very bottom right. But if ByuN isn't attacking, I guess he's fine.
Maybe he's afraid of double drops or something like that, because this one is kind of easy for him to just move his army down to. It's almost like a triangle base between the 3rd, 4th, and 5th. But all right, hold that thought. herO coming in on both angles. Disruptors on the right side and Colossi both getting taken out immediately, but the Zealot flank on the left is quickly making work of the tanks. The thing is, there isn't enough splash against the bio. The Disruptors do not get the connections they need, and ByuN just absolutely runs over the army in the middle of the map. I feel like that split there for herO in terms of army wasn't quite the right composition, but he is able to reinforce back at home now. He doesn't have exactly the same problem he did before in terms of economy.
I do like the Stalker run back to then try to recall just to buy some more time, but I don't know that this is going to be salvageable here. It's been another Robo-Tech reset here.
I mean, the medevacs are very low on energy, so if a big flood of Zealots is able to come in and make connections, but
he might want to land those Vikings. Okay, there we go.
Yeah. Land in, immediately take down one of the Disruptors. The dodge has been really good for ByuN, but that was a nice hit there for herO. The thing is, there isn't much sustain in terms of damage for this army. It's basically just Zealots and Stalkers beside the few stray Disruptor shots coming in here for herO. And the Siege tank's just slowly creeping forward in this position by both staircases.
Oh my god, he's going to unpower the gates.
Oh, nice hit, gets 2 ghosts.
Needs a scan. Gets the DTs. The Disruptors are a little bit exposed. Another perfect dodge. Reinforcements inbound right now from the Terran.
And herO is just pumping the Disruptors right now. I think because they build so much faster than Colossi, he feels like he doesn't have the time.
Yeah, no, I think you can only go Disruptors until this attack has been wiped out. Another attack in. I mean, he's bled off a lot of Zealots, but there's still enough Disruptors. You know, when you get to about 3 or 4, you can kind of endlessly chuck out these shots. I think that herO's actually okay.
Maybe. I mean, this Terran army is really scary, and keep in mind, these Zealots have no armor upgrades whatsoever. It's just +3 ground weapons, and against 2-2 bio, they start to really melt. So I'm hoping herO's going to be able to get some Colossi out, but ByuN might not give him the time. He's pushing into all of these Disruptors. Those Marauders get juked a little bit and do get taken out. So much pressure here in the front. If herO is able to stabilize, he's on 84 workers. He has a ton of bases. ByuN is not expanding on his side of the map, so there is a path to victory.
You're 100% right. I mean, the reality is that ByuN is not growing at all the way that that herO is. herO is basically taking all of the bases that he can on his side of the map. Now, this probably should have happened a lot sooner because this was kind of the exposed position. This Nexus is going to go down before herO can even find an answer, and I think this is the play, is to fracture the armies off, basically make the Protoss start to chase you down, and then just keep hitting wherever he's weak.
Yeah, but with all those Stalkers coming in here, they might be able to blink forward and get these medevacs. They're very low on HP. I'm getting a little bit worried here for ByuN. He is pivoting his army down into the bottom right now, going for that extra base. If he's able to take that one out, then suddenly the economies are going to equalize despite herO's worker lead. But the army here in the front here for herO is pretty strong. SCV is getting pulled. There might not be enough for ByuN to hold on.
Yeah, actually, I mean, with this number of Colossi and Disruptors, I mean, it's going to be very hard for small amounts of units to take fights. That being said, I mean, ByuN could come in here and wipe these bases out, pick up and try to come back here and fight. God, there's so much here, though, for herO.
I mean, it's basically a base trade situation, but there are, like, no starport units out for ByuN whatsoever. There's, like, 4 medevacs cross-map, and that is basically it. His economy is so stunted. The standing army on the left side of the map for herO, way better than ByuN's. I think he can come in, kill a lot of the production, and then recall just enough to hold on to the main base in the natural expansion, especially with Overcharge against a pure Bio Ball. I think herO might have done it.
I think herO wins. I think you're right.
I mean, this was such a tough position for herO to play from. I can't believe how well he's done to come back in this game.
ByuN needs to lip right now. He's going to lose that command center. Now, I mean, where are the probes? You got to pull the probes out.
Yeah, there's 30 workers here for herO between the main base and the natural expansion.
I'm a little bit stunned herO hasn't like hidden workers somewhere on the map.
I think he's just going to recall and keep them here, the natural and the main.
I guess that makes sense.
I mean, these medevacs have no
Yeah.
energy. ByuN has been stimming to kill all of these buildings this whole time.
Yeah, it's funny. We saw Maru not do this.
Uh-huh.
But ByuN, you can see there's a little bit of a muscle memory problem in that he's almost too good at auto-stimming. And so he doesn't have any mana to heal up. I mean,
both players supply block to oblivion
now,
right now.
let's say that the Protoss has fragments of his army picked off. Then maybe there's a shot. Oh, dude. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Wait a minute.
There's one
Wait a
stalker
minute.
on the
Wait
map.
a minute.
I mean, killing the Colossus gives herO the supply to actually warp into more stalkers and deal
That's
with it.
so funny.
There's probes with this. You were wondering where the probes were. They're right
There they
here,
are.
man. They are on the aggression.
It's going to send these. That's it. GG. herO takes game 2. This has been such a crazy day of games.
These have been some really good games, man. I'm enjoying this. I can't believe herO came back in this match. I mean, that opening push from ByuN, yeah, it stunted his growth a little bit there in terms of starport play because he delayed the medevac so much, but he was able to kill a lot of gateway units. He got, what, 10 probes were pulled? herO's third base was so delayed. But then at some point, ByuN, you can kind of see this almost as his Achilles heel. He just stopped growing. He stopped going into upgrades. If that was Maru, he would have played it much more slowly, compound on the lead, but ByuN went maybe a little bit balls to the wall. He was really aggressive on that one, and he tried to end the game, and against a lesser player, absolutely could have done it. But against herO, the best Protoss player in Korea, top 2 Protoss player in the world, possibly even the best, I mean, he was able to just barely hang on by a thread after minutes and minutes of pressure right in front of his base, where if one thing went wrong, the game was over. He holds on, he stabilizes while growing in the bottom right corner. Suddenly the game is his, and we're going to be going to a game number 3.
Yep, we're going to go to Oceanborn here. Let's find out if we're going to get some mirror matchups today or it's the TVP madness is going to continue on here. Our game is loading up. Let's get into this. I called that too soon. It didn't load as fast as I thought.
Yeah, I was watching the
loading
countdown.
bar
The lobby was still going.
is a little bit slower today. All right, now let's see. ByuN in the top left, herO in the bottom right. Do we have a probe sent out immediately?
A little bit later.
Yeah, not as soon if he's going to send that across here.
I mean,
But he is still sending it.
at this stage in the previous map, he was
Yeah,
already,
he was already in the
base.
base.
It was
I
like
literally
34 seconds.
Looked up from drinking my water, and I'm like, oh, he's in his spawn.
I know every season, I can't remember who it is that publishes it, but somebody does this map analysis where they show like the quickest paths cross map with workers, with reapers,
Yeah,
with overlords.
that stuff is so valuable.
I wonder if the previous map, Ghost River, is... I wonder how many seconds less it is than the other maps, because it does certainly feel like it's the fastest, but this could also just be one of these things where you look at the map and it seems like it's really quick, but it actually is relatively normal. But it felt like it got there so quick at that previous map.
This is some pretty good RNG on that SCV. It's dodging every attempt for that probe to get over there.
Yeah, some good damage, though, here by herO.
Okay, probe coming back in here.
Both these series have been so fun, by the way.
It's been really good, honestly. And sometimes in TVP, like one guy just kills the other one outright. And I mean, that can be fun too, but these have been like really dynamic games. Everything's so different.
It's also cool because Classic and herO, Classic in his series playing a very different style from herO so far in this series. And same with Maru and ByuN. You can see ByuN is playing quite a bit more aggressively. He's really going for the killing blow, whereas Maru was throwing down command centers. Even in game 1, he did that really cool control play, mixing in nukes. I love the dynamic range that we're seeing from these players here today in TVP. It is very refreshing to watch. I mean, this is the first time, I think, in 3 years that we have 3 Protoss players in the round of 8 here at GSL, and the games have been such a treat against both Maru and ByuN. Now, this probe coming all the way here into the main base is going to get the full scout off. Sees there's still only 1 refinery, factory, reactor, and second command center underway, and so herO is basically the complete picture, and his response is going to be a Twilight Council.
Yeah. Now, the Twilight Council, there's obviously many forks in this build. We're going to see if it's just going to be a quick third base or not. That seems to be more of the trend right now. Just take that third base and try to develop more. We don't have the third command center coming down here for ByuN, which was something he was doing quite a bit of.
So far, just the 1 CC here in the main base. 1-1-1 opening. We'll see if he adds in some additional barracks or if he does go for that third command center, as the Hellion's going to have to get repaired in the main base. Robotics coming in, as well as Blink getting chrono boosted here from herO. Last time we only saw a 2-gate Blink opening from him. We'll see if he changes that here on Oceanborn. I feel like for a player of herO, of his caliber and his style, you gotta mix in 4-gate Blink in this matchup at least once in the series. It's kind of like how in every PvZ for what felt like years, you would see the Protoss player mix in 4-gate Adepts with Glaives and would like lose basically every single time.
Yeah.
But the thing is, 4-gate Blink from herO absolutely has the potential to kill even the best players in the world.
Sure,
I mean,
absolutely.
one mistake against him and it's game over. So it's surprising to me that he's, even here in map number 3, just sticking with a 3-gate Blink.
Yeah, you know, these guys also play each other a lot in online tournaments, so it's possible that, like, you know, he's tried that enough times, he goes, let's try something different. But I would love to see it, personally. So we've got the Hellions coming across the map with a Marine drop coming in here. I think the Observer is going to, cross, look at that. Beautiful. So he's going to be able to come in here and intercept this right away.
Hellion should be running through the wall in the middle right now. Going to go into the main base. They're actually going for the natural probes. They're all going to retreat here to the shield battery, I thought for sure he was going to the main. Oh my goodness, line them up.
What a funny interaction. And then the Marines are like, you betrayed us.
It's interesting to me that ByuN saves the Hellions instead of the Marines in that situation,
that's what's so funny about that situation. It's like he drops the Marines only so that the Hellions can come in and get scooped up and saved. But I guess the reality is there's more damage they could do. This is sometimes a really good move. It's not going to work this time around, but sometimes it makes no sense to drop in the same spot twice, so players will just already run to a new location to try to defend.
Yeah, Blink is done really quickly here for herO, though. Those chrono boosts paying off against the Medivacs and one of the Hellions, and now moving across now. Oh, the bunker at 99%. He's going to be able to get 2 SCVs because of it. Double gas coming down again for herO, so this is not going to be super committed pressure from the Protoss. I mean, he's going to blink into the main and see what damage he can get done there, but...
Ooh, nice kill on that Hellion.
This is him eventually working into tech.
Is he going to try to do a warp it over here? He's using the warp prism to basically spot. You know, there's not that many Marines. Can't you just blink on top of that tank? What else is there?
Oh, there is a second tank out, but where is the second tank? Okay, it's right here.
Over there. I feel like he could have actually maybe moved in and killed that.
I think you're right.
This warp prism.
But it's one of those situations where you know the tank is just out of vision, and if you blink forward, you're going to lose all the stalkers.
Yeah. Better safe than sorry. It's like if you pull it off, you look like a god, but if you don't, you look like an idiot. ByuN is ready to repair this. He's going to just blink right over here to the side. You know, until you have about 3 or 4 tanks, this is like really hard to deal with.
Yeah, it is. But this Liberator in the main base getting some good counter damage done. We'll get about 5 probes and some idle time over there. So a bit of tit for tat. Oh, that's poor Stalker. Please go in the warp prism. No. Shift Q blink just not working out right there. Oh, and ByuN maybe with a little bit of F2 micro. Does send the Liberator back home. It gets picked off by the Stalkers in the main. And things are relatively even still. Now, I don't think there is a third command center for ByuN. I think he's really leaning heavily into the siege tank timing here at the third base with +1. He's even throwing down additional barracks here before third command center. So it feels like he's going for a killing blow, but I'm not sure he really has the tempo to make this work. Charge is almost done. We have 1 forge here. Already upgrading for herO. So +1 ground weapons should finish around the same time as +1 infantry weapons here for the Terran. And there is the threat of these +1 zealots getting warped into the main base. And yeah, 3 more barracks. This is not necessarily all in, but this is about as aggressive as it gets, where you could still potentially macro out of it here for ByuN. And given the way this game is shaping up, I mean, herO's gotten so much value out of these Blink Stalkers, although the Hellions were able to kill 7 probes back at home. I like his position a ton.
I like it a lot. It's like we were talking about earlier. I don't want to harp on this too much, but like I feel like he should have been doing this the whole series.
I mean, he's so good at it.
He's so talented at it. So Terran has to stay back and continue to develop. Stim about halfway done. More barracks coming down. Unless I missed it, there's no third command center.
No.
So this is really just him going for 2 base play. He needs to push and kill the third, or he needs to expand. But if he expands, it seems like it would just be too late. So it's going to have to be the former.
Really big supply block there for ByuN, by the way. He's building like he was building like 4
I
depots
didn't even
at a
notice
time.
that. Good catch.
Wait, what is going on? He's still at 102 out of 102. Is he just still supply blocked? I think he's floating so much minerals that he's just now throwing down a command center because of the supply block.
Yeah.
I'm not. Maybe this is the plan.
This is the pro move: is when you get the supply blocked, you attack them to free up the supply.
Yeah, that was a big. I mean, he's still at 109 out of 110. It's rare that I feel like we almost never comment on supply blocks for players in
it does
pro
happen.
matches here at the GSL, but this one has been really heavy, and I think it's because herO's just had ByuN so up against the ropes this entire time. Eventually, you kind of lose that pacing,
like,
right? You kind of lose the step.
It's a lot of times when you get supply blocked is when you're getting harassed, and you're getting hit hard, and you kind of lose the rhythm. Nice shot on the mine. An overextension. He hits the medevac. He's got to be careful.
I think if
he went deep on that.
I think if he kills the medevac, it's worth it, but the fact that he didn't really does hurt because
you just go repair it, and the hull damage is permanent.
I mean, if you're going for charge zealots like this as herO, which he should be mostly warping in charge zealots, I don't think he's going to build any more stalkers after these 11, at least until they die and he wants to replenish. The limiting factor in the fights against the Terran player before ghosts get out on the field, it's the starport units. It's the Vikings, the medevacs. Oh my goodness, he gets right on top of that. Luckily there's Blink, but I think at least one more stalker should go down here from concussive. You see ByuN actually migrating forward, trying to get concussive on one more stalker. He does. That's a ton of damage.
herO's racing up here in the middle of the map to try to meet this.
Oh, he wants to catch this so bad. Oh, he's bleeding forward. He's going to be able to do it. He gets 2 of the medevacs right now. These sentries closing in. Should be able to get some of the bio.
Pretty nice force fields. The tanks are back here. Is he going to just try to push? He's going to warp in a lot of zealots. I think he's going to commit. He just needs to wait for Thermal Lance to finish. Or he can go right now. Here he comes in.
Yeah, coming in right now, blinking to the left side. There isn't a lot of units right here doing some nice shuttle micro with the Warp Prism. The Immortals focusing on the siege tanks, but there's just enough damage here on the backline for ByuN. A little bit of an overextension there for herO, maybe a little bit too trigger happy.
Yeah, I think a little bit too gun-ho to get in there and try to do that damage. 2 tanks remain. The tanks are really what allow you to get a foothold and control your base. The 4th base is going to finish over here. herO maintaining an expansion lead. Vikings poke out, but they're, I think, smartly still going to back up. Does he want to attack it again? I only see 1 Colossus.
I think right now you just kind of sit. You control the Terran player a little bit. That fight, while it did look like a bit of an overextension, herO can afford that. He was able to blink forward, kill a lot of critical starport units. I think ByuN is still only on 1 starport, so the fact that he's down to, I think, 3 medevacs and 2 Vikings is huge here for herO. Because ByuN not only does he need more medevacs to support the bio army that he's trying to build right now on 3 bases, but he also needs a healthy Viking count to deal with the sustained DPS of the Colossus on the map. So this is a really tricky position here for ByuN. I think he's oversaturated by like 13 SCVs on that 3rd base, whereas herO is effectively double expanding. That 4th base, as soon as it finishes construction, he's taking the 5th. And he's able to macro up very happily back at home. You see he's even going into DC Blink. He's adding in a 2nd Forge. Disruptor's running the field. He's adding static defense on these bases that are a little bit more hard to defend. And if herO just kind of plays the control game from this position, I think it's going to be very difficult for ByuN to macro out of it because he delayed his 3rd command center for so long. He went up to 5 barracks on 2 CC and didn't get anything done for it. He had nothing to show for sacrificing economy and going for army. And now he's in this awkward position where herO is just a step ahead in terms of macro.
herO's going to move out. This is a great angle for herO. Good thing ByuN actually pulls away. 1 Marauder gets sniped off there. And, he could attack in here. He almost doesn't even have to. I guess with no planetary, though, I mean, it's tempting, right?
I think you might want to attack in if you max because you know your economy is better.
Right,
But otherwise, you just do not let them take a 4th base.
Yeah, you can just basically perch out here. I think we're going to see 1 more warping round of Zealots.
I think
he is getting Stargates, by the way.
herO's actually building pylons on the potential 4th bases of ByuN on the mini-map right now.
That's actually so good. I wish we would see that more often.
Yeah, and as soon as he hits max pop, second Robo comes in and double Stargate, air weapons begins. Transition is coming here for herO, and so it looks like it's not going to be him attacking into this position. He's just going to build up even bigger back at home, and he is going to wait for ByuN to get out of this easily fortified position and force him to come out on the map. I love this play here from herO. And ByuN, he's basically up against the wall right now. He really needs a win.
He's going to stim in once more.
Every starport unit that goes down is so critical. I mean, it is huge. It cannot be overstated.
So he did let the Terran take this fourth base over here. Now would be a good time to try to attack, and he's going to have to maybe take the wide angle route. No, he's going to come right down the stairs over here. We don't mind barely gets that shot off.
You see herO, he's just trying to find
you
the
might want
hole
to
in
hit
the
the
armor. Right. I think he's pressuring there because he doesn't want the siege tanks to come all the way down here.
Yeah.
He wants to force ByuN into a position where he doesn't really have the best arc.
Oh, this arc, by the way, insane for ByuN.
Oh, that disruptor shot, that was huge! Two of them pop off! And if herO turns around and takes this fight, I think it's going to be a win for him.
Now, again, there's no SCVs mining at this base. In fact, the fourth base is lifted off.
Yeah,
that's
ByuN
all
can't
herO has
take
to
it.
do. Yeah, he can't take it.
He just has to bleed ByuN out.
Remember, guys, like herO doesn't have to come in here for the killing blow. He's just going to keep growing.
He's adding in 2 more He's going up to 4 Stargate at home with the Fleet Beacon.
It's pretty insane. He's going to move in. Is this an overextension?
Disruptor shots come through, able to connect with a Marauder and a couple of goes. ByuN is getting a pretty good win in this fight. That is a beautiful arc on the Stalkers. ByuN with some fantastic positioning on that army. Is it going to be enough, though? This is a highly upgraded Protoss force. Eventually, the army supplies are going to equalize, but the thing is, ByuN doesn't have the bank that herO does. herO is just instantly going to repop. He's building carriers 3 at a time. He's making 2 more Stargates, plus 2 air weapons, shields, and armor upgrades are all coming in. And this remax from herO is going to be terrifying for ByuN to deal with. ByuN has no Vikings. He has 5 medevacs, and his anti-air is 12 Marines and 7 Ghosts. We're very soon going to have close to double-digit carriers on the field if herO decides to wait on the Gateway Warpins and just focus purely on the Stargates.
I mean, we are so close to the end, it feels like.
ByuN has to defend this fourth.
Yeah, I mean, if he doesn't have that. The thing is, even then, it's like, how much more of the map can herO take? herO's almost, I think, literally taking every base on his side of the map to the point where you can start to throw stuff in there. His resource count is still low, as in he's spending his money, but this should end up piling up pretty quickly.
ByuN just needs to play the longest possible game here he can. He needs herO to overextend on that fourth base, and ByuN needs to just completely dumpster the first army and force a remax. Because herO, that bank, it's going away very quickly. He is building an extremely expensive army. It's going to be at least 8 carriers on the field with +2 air weapons, with +2 shields. Mothership is also entering the field. So this is about as expensive as a late game PvT army gets.
This is as late game can be, basically. ByuN is finally moving out. Now there's going to be a little bit of brittleness on herO's side as he's trying to get these carriers out.
And immobility, too.
Yeah.
And so ByuN splitting his army here, going for that base on the right side is a very smart play. And now he's seeing the carrier switch. Wouldn't be surprised to see ByuN immediately fire down some more Vikings.
Now,
restart Marine production.
ByuN is starting to tear through these bases. He's going to catch these carriers. This is wild. All right, he does manage to get over to that high ground area and kind of avoid this.
Oh, he's focusing down the medevacs. I love that so much.
Yeah, it's really smart. That way he can just pin this army.
I mean, the force on the field right now for herO, this army is insane. 8 carriers. herO has more carriers than ByuN has medevacs and Vikings. The same amount right now, 8 to 8. This is just absolutely absurd. The army that herO's been able to build. I mean, ByuN, his army looks like a typical mid-game army, whereas herO has he's like the RPG character with all of the highest level gear.
Yeah, he's completely maxed out.
He bought the DLC that gives him an extra 10 levels.
He beat all the secret bosses, and now he's got all the good weapons.
ByuN just finished a round of it. Oh my god, the recall on the left side, we completely missed this. He just unseats the fourth base with disruptor shots. ByuN can't even get on top of the carriers. He's trying to stem forward. Are there more disruptor shots? Force fields are coming in. Time warp comes down. Even the observer was caught off guard by that mothership recall on the left side right there.
Crazy.
I love how much Mothership we're seeing in this patch.
Oh,
by the
I
way.
like it. Well, I kind of missed the the unit for a while. For in periods of StarCraft 2, it was nerfed to the point where it's just like not an interesting unit anymore. So he's going to stem come in here now. Now, this should be the GG moment. I mean, there's just nothing that ByuN can do. I can't even believe ByuN was in this game for this long, honestly.
He did a great job of holding on, but
Yeah.
herO just a
herO
tempo
takes it.
ahead.
He's too good.
Wow, what a 6 series. These games have been so good so far today.
This has probably so far been the best day of GSL.
I feel we've had
Can we
2
agree
best
with
days
this?
of GSL
Yeah.
so far this season. It's been killer, man. What a good series. I cannot wait to get into that winner's match.
And, herO wins with carriers, but he knew when to hold out for the carriers. And that was a technical game. I mean, he basically kind of stayed outside the third base and then eventually the fourth, just long enough to take the whole map. There's no way that, because if ByuN, like, let's say he picks up his whole army with Medivacs and tries to fly out on the map, you just go into the third and kill it. It's a really good positional game.
It reminded me of the way Maru played in Game 1, where he just took the middle and then denies all the bases on the side and then remaxes and wins it. Very cool. Guys, when we get back, the winner's match, Maru versus herO. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back in a minute.
Go ahead and take all your winnings, but one thing that you got to know, this is only the beginning. You never know where you may go, so hold on to the highs while you're alright, cause you know you're gonna come down, just a matter of time, and you will find everything comes back around, comes back around, comes back around, back around, comes back around, comes back around. So hold on to the highs while you're alright, cause you know you're gonna come down, just a matter of time, and you will find everything comes back around. So hold on to the highs while you're alright, cause you know you're gonna come down, just a matter of time, and you will find everything comes back around, comes back around, comes back around, back around, comes back around, comes back